Hi guys, Zoe Gardner, a refugee rights campaigner and immigration researcher, appeared on Newsnight where she was asked about the closure of the Bell Hotel in Epping to asylum seekers. And Zoe attacked the government and also this policy, which she has been criticising from the very beginning. Have a listen to this.
Zoe, whatever the arguments, for this to be decided on planning rules, no one would have started from there.
No, it's absolutely the wrong way for this to have gone. And the result, which is that people are being moved out of a hotel where there were violent racist protests taking place week in, week out outside of their gates, people being terrorised who are living there, and, you know, huge disturbance to the local community. Yes, it's absolutely right. People should not have been housed in that hotel. But for it to happen in this way, what an enormous humiliation for the government, a huge failure, which lays bare the arrogance with which they have approached this asylum issue. They have gone day after day after day this summer pursuing anti-migrant rhetoric across their social media, across their announcements, across all of their policy approaches. And what they've done is fueled the flames of this hate hatred. What they should have been doing is acting sooner to move people out of hotels and into a more sustainable community-based form of accommodation.
And she's completely correct. You know, now, to carry a little bit of water for the government, they inherited a disaster. The Conservatives, there was a Conservative there on the panel as well. The Conservatives decided we're going to move people into ex-hotels because the claims were not being processed. The detention centres were overflowing. So instead of processing the claims, they decided let's find an alternative, and they booked people into hotels. And at its height in 2023, it was 400 hotels being in use. Now, the Labour government have brought that down, and it's now currently at about 200, but it's still too many. And this ruling over the hotel in Epping is going to make life much more difficult for the Labour Party and the Labour government. Because as Zoe has pointed out, on the one hand, they're engaging in anti-immigration rhetoric. How many clips have you seen online where asylum seekers are being arrested and thrown into the back of a van or loaded onto boats or to be deported or whatever? So the rhetoric is quite aggressive. Obviously, an attempt to pander to people who voted for Nigel Farage at the last election. This is not going to work. It didn't work for the Conservatives. It's not going to work for Labour. They need to do other things. I keep saying, and Zoe has said on I don't know how many occasions, if you create safe routes, this will take away the small boat crossings. It will reduce them, maybe not eliminate them completely, but it will remove the optics of it. Remember, the small boat crossings represent just 3% of all immigration. So people who are quote unquote concerned about immigration are just seeing the small boats. And if you're able to take that away, you're taking power away also from Nigel Farage and the Conservatives. It's so ironic that the Conservatives have jumped on board this bandwagon of hotels, when they are the ones who introduced the policy. They didn't have a problem with hotels in 2022 or 2023 when there were about 400 of them in use. But you need to move people out. And now the government's hand has been pushed. It seems because of this ruling, they will have to close these hotels and move people into other forms of accommodation. The Conservatives and Reform are talking about camps, which would be an absolute disaster. The viable solution, at least in the short term, is to move people into rented accommodation. It's more expensive. It's going to be more difficult logistically. But in regards to the optics, the politics of it, it makes much more sense than concentrating people in hotels, which attracts the far right in particular. People who have every right to protest. They have every right to express their concerns. And there are legitimate concerns, of course. But it attracts the far right who amplify the anger and engage in violence. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.